Well guys, we are finally here. My first short story is finally out. I'm RJM3. So I bet you're all probably wondering what was up with all those clues and stuff. So today I'm going to explain to you the meaning behind them and how to solve them.
So in the first video, titled It Begins, I showed you this clue right here. Now it has the encrypted title of the story along with the release date. Now to solve this, you need to use the Caesar cipher, which is essentially, you need to take all these letters and turn them back 4 letters in the alphabet. At least that's the version of the Caesar cipher I used. And once you do that, you get the title The Butterfly Battalion. Now in the second video, called The List, you see this list here, and it contains all the encrypted names of the characters in the story. Now here I used the @bash cipher, which is basically flipping the whole alphabet around, and like if you have an A and you want to encrypt it, you turn it into a Z. If you have a B and you want to encrypt it, you turn it into a Y, and so on. So to decrypt it, you have to flip it back. And so in this case, once you do that with all of these right here, basically you get this: Max Ripple, Joshua Domino, Hank Mandel, Clark Decker, and Barney Brown. Now here's where things get complicated. So basically, for both the clues used in the letter part 1 and part 2, you have to use both the Caesar and the @bash cipher to decipher them. Okay, so for the first one, once you decrypt it, you get this. August 8th, 1962. Today was the big day. High military personnel and even President Johnson himself visited the site for the demonstration. The test occurred just outside of the facility in the scorching Texas sun. I turned the machine on, the wormhole opened, the subject went in, the subject came out, the wormhole closed, and I turned off the machine. The prototype had worked. The president and the military men had applauded and gave me their praise. The only noteworthy issue from the test was that the subject had landed some distance away from the intended location. The machine requires some more calibration. I estimate the issue should be resolved in about 2 to 3 months. After 10 years, Project Kronos will finally pay off. The enemies of our nation won't even know it happened. Dr. B. Brown. Say, wasn't that one of the characters from our list over here? The plot thickens. Now let's see what happens when it's applied to part 2. September 8th, 1962. The machine's first operation has been pushed to tomorrow. I tried to tell General Decker that it won't be ready for another month or 2, but he wouldn't listen. I guess I really can't blame him or his bosses. We've reached a point where war could break out any day now. Damn it! If only that destroyer crew hadn't sunk that cargo vessel. The butterflies being sent through the machine will be arriving tomorrow. Without proper calibration, it's unlikely the machine will send them straight to their objective. To make matters worse, I fear the possibility of what could happen if the team makes one wrong move. Even with the precautions put in place, everything could be ruined. Signed, Dr. B. Brown. And we're coming to the end. In the last video titled The Divergence, you just simply had this arrow here, which I was sitting next to while I was humming. You see, this arrow was meant to direct you to the description below the video, which had the actual cipher, and in it I used how I think it's pronounced as a Vigneri cipher or something like that, or whatever. Anyway, the keyword I used in that for the cipher was butterfly. Once you put that in, combine it with the encrypted words, you get the translation, which was Robert E. Lee's Special Order 191, used during the Maryland campaign during the Civil War, and which also explains the tune I was humming during the video. The tune I sung was Dixieland, which basically explains the divergence point behind my alternate history. It basically takes place in a timeline where the South won its independence during the Civil War. Anyway, yeah, so basically, it basically asks the question, what if Robert E. Lee's Special Order 191 had not been lost? Because in our timeline, it was lost, and so as a result, some Union troops like found it, and basically they were able to stop Lee's invasion of Maryland and stop him from winning the war right then and there. So yeah, that's the big divergence point.
Well, guys, there you have it. My story takes place in an alternate timeline where the South won the Civil War. Unfortunately for the Confederacy, however, in this timeline, its glory days are short-lived. Just 50 years after winning their independence, in this timeline's version of World War I, the North and South find themselves on opposite sides of the war, and the North subsequently kicks their ass. In the 1960s, Confederate scientist Dr. Barney Brown discovers a way to travel back in time and change history. And so the Confederacy plans to use Dr. Brown's time machine to hopefully, prevent not really prevent, but change the outcome of the Great War. And so basically, that's basically the plot of the story. And you know what? You should go ahead and check it out. Yeah. Anyway, the link to the ad is in the description. It takes you right to my main website, which is also linked in the description. So yeah, check all that good stuff out, and yeah, see ya.